اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد نبيه ومصطفاه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه واهتدى بهداه. We always start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the best of peace and blessings on the soul of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his household, companions, and everybody who follows on the righteous path up until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. O Allah, do not deprive us from your grace, Ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, bestow your fadl, your grace, your bounty, your ni'mah, your rahmah, your mercy on us, Ya Rabbil Alameen, at all times. Allahumma ameen. My dearest brothers and sisters in Islam, inshallah, tonight is Majlisul Fiqh, or the session discussing Islamic jurisprudence, and the topic we will look into and focus on for the next few weeks, inshallah, will be an-nikah, the topic of nikah or marriage according to Islam, Islamic jurisprudence of nikah, or rulings of marriage and rulings of nikah in Islam. So nikah or marriage is known in all nations, and it has rules, it has regulations, it has a code of doing it. I have lived in the United States in 3 different states. Each state, they do have some similarities, but there are differences in the way they conduct or make or require whatever they require for the nikah, for the marriage to happen, based on which state you live in. Islam, which is the way for us believers and the way for everybody, provided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the way of life, involves nikah in it, or marriage. And this marriage happens according to rulings. And many Muslims might confuse it with, alhamdulillah, we do it the Islamic way and everything, but in many of its aspects, or at least some of its aspects, people mix what is from Allah, what is from Islam, what is from the Prophet ﷺ, and what is from the culture, or what is from anything else. We are focusing on the pure Islamic perspective of nikah, or what is nikah, how do we do with the rulings of nikah. I'm not talking much here about the etiquettes and adab and advices. We will touch on these, but the main focus will be on the rulings, because this is the session or majlisul fiqh. Ma huwa nikah? What is marriage? The linguistic meaning of the word nikah in Arabic, مأخوذة من تناكحة الأشجار، يعني اجتمعت وتضامت إلى بعضها وهكذا. It is taken from the action of, when trees get together, the wind move the trees and they get together, the branches get closer to each other. That action in Arabic linguistically is called nikah. The trees are making nikah. So it refers to ad-dammu wal-jam'a, combining and getting together. That is the meaning of nikah or nakaha in Arabic. It refers to combination, 2 things getting together. That is the linguistic meaning of it. The Islamic meaning of nikah, it refers to a contract. Nikah means a contract. What does this contract involve? Is it a contract of selling? Is it a contract of granting? Is it a contract of renting? All of these are kinds of contracts. This contract involves عقد يتضمن إباحة استمتاع كل من الزوجين بالآخر على الوجه المشروع. What does this mean? That is a contract that allows both spouses to enjoy each other according to the permissible way. Having the relationship, permissibility of relationship according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Why is it called nikah? How is it related to the lexical meaning? Because they get together. It combines two people together. Trees get together, people get together, nikah. طيب. I might just quickly refer to, because we're talking about fiqh in here. When we say nikah, does it only and exclusively refer to the contract of nikah or to the action? Because it refers also to al-wat', which is the intimacy, the action of the intercourse between the male and the female. That action is also called nikah. It will lead to some technical differences, because when you call it nikah, I don't want to get you in there, but sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they divorce. If they divorce after the nikah, what do you mean after the nikah? After having the contract or after having the relationship? Because you might sign the contract, but you never get together physically. That will lead to some rulings. You might, if you are interested, go ahead and check on that. But for Imam al-Shafi'i, it refers mainly to the contract itself. When you hear nikah, it refers to the contract of the marriage, not necessarily to the action, even though the action of the relationship between the male and the female is also called nikah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال نكحتم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نكحتم المؤمنات ثم طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن. Allah said, O believers, if you make nikah, O believing men, when you make nikah with the believing women, then you divorce them before touching them. So what does the word nikah here refer to? He doesn't touch her. It refers to the contract itself. طيب مشروعية النكاح, like everything in Islam. You remember yesterday we were talking about al-aqidah. I urge everybody to join our sessions. Every day we talk about different topic, and we're going systematically, in a methodological way to cover all the Islamic rulings, or all the Islamic sciences, inshallah. You remember we're talking about there's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ilm that deals with Allah and knowing His names and things like that is aqidah, theology, or creed, Islamic creed. And then the knowledge that involves how to know the way to Allah. Now we know Allah, we believe in Him, we accept Him. How to move to Him. الطريق إليه. That's fiqh. What's legal, what's not legal. What He wants. Like you're driving. You're driving to San Francisco. You believe there is a city called San Francisco. You need to be there. You want to go there. To follow the way, you have to go there. You have to follow the way. And following the way would involve following a certain speed limit, following the signs. You go this. That is fiqh in here. How to go in this way. All the rules, all the signs on the way as you're driving to Allah, if I may put it. كل أفعال المكلفين, all the actions of those who are required to go in this way to Allah will be either one of 5 rulings. Whatever you say, whatever you do, the ruling of it in Islam is either one of 5, generally speaking. One to the far right, that's obligation. Something that's obligatory, wajib, you have to do it. On the other side, can anybody imagine? Put your comments in here. Can anybody predict? We need some, inshallah, interaction through the comments. This is also going on YouTube, Salam YouTube page, my YouTube page as well. And also it's going to the Facebook pages. You may go ahead and put your comments if you want to interact with us, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala, in this session. So the rulings, all the rulings, al-ahkam, according to Islam, is going to be either one of 5. One to the far right, obligation, like prayer. You have to pray, the 5 daily prayers for the person who is it's obligatory on him or her. You have to do it, a must. On the other hand, it's no, haram. So this one is wajib, this one is haram, or something you should not do, like drinking wine. It's not permissible, that's haram. And then we have one right in the middle, that's neutral. Not here, not here, which is permissible. You may do it, you may not do it. The wajib, when you do it, you have to do it. There is a reward in doing it. Allah rewards you, gives you points, hasanat. The haram, there is also a reward in not doing it. And there is a punishment of doing it. You lose points if you do it. You gain point if you refrain from doing it. The one in the middle, which is permissible, there is no points by minus or by positive or negative. No, it's permissible, it's neutral. And then there is one level in between in here, which is recommended. It's, you may do it, it's better you do it, but it's not obligatory. If you miss it, it's okay. If you do it, it's okay. But if you do it, you will get reward. If you miss it, there is no reward, there is no punishment either. And there is one right here on the other side, between the permissible, the neutral, and the haram, which is makruh. It's not recommended. You may do it, you may not do it, better not do it, because it's coming, the curve, the pointer is getting this way a little bit. Better not to do it. Well, if you do it, there's no punishment. But if you refrain from it, you will get reward from Allah by not doing it and avoiding it. Marriage, where does it lie here? Is it obligatory? Is it haram? Is it permissible, recommended, not recommended? Which way? Which one? What do you think? Anybody would say? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi, brother Nouri. A very important topic, mashallah. Okay, I agree. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi, Sheikh Imo. Wa alaikum assalam, bintu Islam. Anybody is giving us any answer in here? Marriage, is it permissible? Is it not? First of all, we read in the Quran, let's put the ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran talked about it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Sunnah talked about it. We have it. We have a text talking about it. In Surah An-Nisa, the women, chapter titled The Women, ayah number 4, Allah said, فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. He said, you get married, you may get married as you wish of the women, 2, 3, or 4. And then in Surah An-Nur, verse number 32, Allah said, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ. Those who are single amongst you, make sure you get them to get married. أنكحوا. أنكح يعني تعدى الفعل. فعل الإنكاح إلى هؤلاء الأيام أو ساعدهم. Is to help others, help those who are single get married. Prophet ﷺ said, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة يعني مؤونة النكاح ويعني قادر عليه من مال وصحة وغيره فليتزوج ومن لم يستطع فإنه أغض للبصر وأحصن للفرج ومن لم يستطع فعليه بالصوم فإنه له وجاء. He said, oh young people, the Prophet ﷺ addressing the young people, he said, oh young people, whosoever amongst you is capable of getting married, physically and financially capable of getting married, let him get married. Because it will help give you غض البصر, lowering the gaze, and أحصن للفرج, make you more chaste, protecting you by satisfying your shahwa or your desire. And those who are not capable, فعليه بالصوم, they should stick to Sawm. If you don't mind, can you maybe, it will help me if I look at the camera at my brothers at the same time. It will be great. Then I like to have an eye contact with everybody. جزاكم الله خير. These are texts talking about it. And also, we have always, when we talk fiqh, we will talk, number one, evidence is Quran. If there's something in the Quran, we go by it. We can never go to anywhere else if there is an evidence in the Quran. If not, we go to the Sunnah. The Sunnah is the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ, his sayings, his actions, his approvals, and things like that. If not, we go to the ijma' or the consensus of the scholars, because the Prophet ﷺ said, my ummah will never be in consensus or in something unless it's something right. So from the Quran it's there, from the Sunnah it's there, from the ijma' it's the consensus of all the scholars that marriage is permissible. طيب, We will talk about the ruling in a little bit if we may delay that. Islam actually recommends, generally speaking, recommends people to get married. Islam recommends the followers of it to get married because it involves many interests, many physical interests, even religious interests, and also communal interests. Imagine everybody does not get married. When I have children, this community is dying right now. The West, almost all countries in the West and even the Far East, Japan, don't you think that they are getting you in here? They are getting you, giving you free visas and urging you to come in big numbers. It's because their numbers are declining. If you don't have the human being, which in some of the Eastern countries, stupid rulers of those countries call the population explosion of whatever and call it as the biggest crisis. It's the biggest ni'mah. It's one of the biggest ni'mah. If you have the human beings, it's on you now to give them education, to take care of them so they can build life. Otherwise, if you don't have people, you cannot have life in general. So marriage is the way to produce more people, is the right way prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have another generation. الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الدنيا متاع وخير متاعها المرأة الصالحة. Life on this earth, the worldly life is mata', is all but a pleasure. It's all like a pleasure. Don't think it is serious, but it's not as serious as it looks to us in our eyes, in the sides we are taking it. But the best out of this pleasure you can take, it's like a bubble that one day will burst. We all will get back to Allah, look back at it, it was a dream. When people are asked, how long did you stay on earth? Many of them will say in the Quran, يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْضَ يَوْمٍ. Allah would ask them, how long do you think you stayed on earth? Oh, was it a day? Or maybe half a day, portion of a day. That's how it would look. It's as if you are sleeping and then you wake up. So the Prophet ﷺ said it's all like a pleasure. It's like amusement. The best you can get in this dunya is al-mar'atu as-salihah, a righteous woman. SubhanAllah, those who do not have a righteous woman, they know that they have lost a lot. Or yes, it is. If you get the righteous woman, obviously spouse in general, but specifically the woman, as according to this hadith, is the best you can get in this dunya. It's from the sunnah of all the prophets. All the prophets made them as a sunnah. Some prophets did not get married, like Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. But that was the exception. But it is a sunnah, as the Prophet ﷺ said, that's my sunnah. Some people came, youth came. Everybody has their own way of doing anything and everything. I like my tea this way. You might wonder now. When I first came to the States, I was shocked when part of the culture shocked. Somebody said tea in a restaurant. Yes, bring a tea. It's cold. That's not tea. Tea for me, coming from Egypt, is what? Is something hot. Iced tea, I don't know it. I don't even know it exists. It's not. So everybody can do their own. That's not to say it's hot tea is good. Choose whatever you want to do. Point is, everybody do things their own way. Every person is entitled to do that. So when it comes to religion, we sometimes tend to do that as well. Those youth came, they thought the Prophet is there, alive, giving them the religion. Who is the Prophet? The Prophet is somebody chosen by Allah, speaking in the first person, like Allah tells you this. Quran come to me from Allah this. Some wanted to be even more religious. They went, they asked, how did he pray at night? How did he do things? Okay, that's the Prophet. Maybe he's excused. Maybe we want to do more. We know the hadith. Some of them decided. We might not know some narrations of the hadith. Some of them said, I'm not going to eat meat. Maybe you didn't know, many of us might not have heard this narration before. Some said, I'm going to pray all night, every night. Some said, I'm not going to eat meat. I'm going to fast every day. One of them said, I'm not going to get married to women. At-tabattul. In Arabic, it's called tabattul. You know, it's even known in other previous nations, and some people getting religious. Allah said in the Quran for the Christians, وَرَهْبَانِيَّةً ابْتَدَعُوهَا. Rahbaniyya or monotheism, being a monk, whatever the word is, being a monk or a nun, which is going far in a temple and not married, not getting married. Allah said this, they put it on themselves. Allah said, I did not made it obligatory. This is something, when those people came to the during the time of the Prophet, the young people, and said, they thought we're going to get closer to Allah by not getting involved in that. Then the Prophet ﷺ came to know about it. He said, no, I pray at night and I sleep too. I fast and I break my fast some days. And I get married to women, and this is my sunnah. You know, everybody is free to do whatever they want. You drink this tea. The sunnah of the Prophet, if you want to be like the Prophet, do the religious way, he does that. He said, that's my sunnah. That's my way of doing things. I get married. I marry women. فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. Those who abandon my sunnah, they're not mine. يعني, even though we're talking about fiqh, but I may refer to something that يعني, I hope I'm not banging into taboos in here. The time that we live in nowadays, subhanallah, 100 years from now, many of what we take for granted now, culturally, economically, is going to change. Even scientifically, it's going to change. Including some of the norms and values. Because 100 years ago, people did not wait until they are 25 and 35 to get married. Just 100 years ago, maybe less. Until 50s, 60s. Try to tell me if the average age of somebody having all the hormones and being ready to get, not just being ready, being on fire, burning inside, boy or girl, it's natural. What is this age? What is this age? Around. Yeah, which is age what? 15, 14, it can be 13, it can be 11 and 10 in some cases. Around that time. Adolescent. Teenager, let's say 12, 13, 14, let's say 15. Is that the age that usually people get married at right now? No. Somebody got hormones in their body. And then you're telling me because of whatever reasons, education, work, society we live in, and you tell me they have to wait for 10 or 15 or maybe 20 or 30 more years before they can get married. Actually, they're in the decline now. You get into the 30s, closer to the 40s. You're getting closer to the hormones are declining. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as it was earlier. Then our societies, our norms nowadays, it tells you, no, you have to finish the school, finish the college. If you are a doctor, finish everything. Keep going, and then work, and then stay until, not only work, until you are established, get house, and then get married. I am afraid that that's not the fitrah, the nature that Allah created everything on. Get two birds together, two birds. By the time they get further and they become like ready to get married, they will get married. They will not wait for anything, because they go by the initial setup that Allah set them up on. That's it. Put any two animals, get the two birds together. Few days they're going to be laying eggs and living happy and nesting. And so we're here trying to mix everything together. Obviously, I'm not saying for those who are 15 right now, it's go and get them, make them get married. No, they're going to make disasters. They are still children. They are in the maturity. Physically, yes, they are ready, but mature-wise, they are not there yet. That's due to complications, socio-anthropological, economical, whatever you want to put it, due to so many reasons. We messed up my life thinking that we are modernizing it, honestly. And it's not. And subhanAllah, the evidence for that is nature is going to dictate no matter what. You telling them, including us Muslims, no, ya akhi, let her finish the school. And I think I'm going to do this to my daughters too, all right? I don't know. Let her finish. Let's be realistic. But the fitrah is pushing her or him. What usually happens, unless you have deen, you have tarbiyah, they will go find it. Let's have the sweet 16 party. It's there. So back then, I give you one example and I move on because it's supposed to focus on fiqh. كان بين عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص وأبيه كم من العمر. If you read the ترجمة biography of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, his father is Amr ibn al-As. It's very clear. It says, we studied when we were little, studying the hadith. Between the difference in age between this son and his father during the time of the Prophet was how long? Give it a guess. 10 years. كان بينه وبين أبيه 10 سنوات. His father got him when he was 10. So he got married when he was 9. He got his first child when he was 10. You might, if you doubt it, go to Africa, go to some tribes who still are not civilized, or in my term, polluted by some of our civilization. And you see them just living like birds, living like natural things, having kids at very young age and living their life. Again, I'm not saying put aside education. What I'm saying is I hope we can reconcile everything. Islam highly recommends people to get marriage, according to these hadith. Why? What is the wisdom behind it? الحكمة من مشروعيته. Number one is to respond to this call of nature. The call of nature. If you wanna go to the bathroom, oh no, you know what? I'm in the middle of an important meeting right now. Okay, you will hold it for a little bit. If you're meeting with the most important person in the world, about to sign the life-changing transaction in your life, whatever the reason is, you will leave it and you'll go respond to the call of nature. Well, that's similar to it. When you have hormones in your body making you think of the opposite gender. Some people say, oh, you're animal. What this animalistic thing? No, it's the nature of humans. Yes, you can hold it, but how long would you be able to hold that? Years, 10, 20 years? So Allah, the wisdom behind that being permissible and being recommended actually, and we'll talk about that, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to just do things normally, naturally. Islam is the religion of fitrah. Generally speaking, is the religion of fitrah. Go with the initial setup that Allah made us on. Everything on fitrah, everything that goes compatible with our nature, you will find it part of our religion. So it's response to that, and also to keep producing, the community, the next generation. SubhanAllah, you see animals. Look at the animal kingdom. Father and mother work very hard to make it possible for the next generation. In many cases, they even die. Look at the salmon in this beautiful river right there. The salmon they breed in here in our rivers, up close to Reading, the city. They come in the stream, go to the ocean, come back when they are ready to breed again to lay the eggs and die, right? All the nature is like that. You work for the next generation. Yes, live and enjoy your life, but you have to pave the way for the extension for this species to continue. We are no exception. Also to produce the leaders for the next generation, to produce النشء يعني. Number 3 is to have this peace and tranquility. Don't talk to me about some pollution that we have nowadays, that yes, they quarrel, they disagree. It's mainly because of the pollution. Part of the pollution, by the way, is you wait, when you get them young together. I remember I grew up in a little village. You were buying a couple of, or you're growing, I remember my mom and my grandma, they would get a couple of pigeons, young. You want them to get along. They will put them together in a cage and leave them for a little bit. What happens? The bond happens all the time. Just get them young, get them very young, put them together for, I don't remember how long, maybe a week or something. Put them together, the bond happens. If you open the cage, they're gonna be together. So part of the pollution is we wait until this young, fresh boy, young, fresh girl, ready to be shaped. You let her go left and right. Get to know men, him get to know girls, look at things. And then he is already, by the time they are 25 and 35, they already have their mindset about how my wife would be like. I want her a combination of the girl I knew in the college and the company, and that girl, a little bit of that. You will not find anything like that. But when you get young together, no much expectation. You grow up together. You grow up together. I'm talking here, in a not utopia world, but that is many of the problems, in my opinion. Obviously, there are so many causes as well. But many of the people not getting along together is, subhanAllah, because they got married late. They were shaped already. They were shaped, fully shaped before they get to know each other and live with each other. that could be one of the problems. But if they got together early, they grow up together and it continues. Anyways, it's supposed to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, marriage will وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. It brings about affection and mercy. So if somebody is just living single like that, that will not be there. You will need somebody to be with you. Also, number 4, the reason or the hikmah or the wisdom behind marriage is to protect the akhlaq, morals. There are codes in Islam. Well, if somebody is not gonna get married, then it's gonna lead to other ways of doing that, and vices will be everywhere and things like that. So it's a protection as well. Also to keep the human species, and to, amongst many other benefits for families. Marriage in Islam is not one boy getting to know one girl, let's get together, let's dictate it in our family. That's not how usually it works in Islam. It's two families getting together. It's the father is involved here, they ask about the man asks about this, and then the two families literally get together. Yes, the main focus is the boy and the girl, the bride and the groom, but it's, you know, when you have some relationship, you know, your daughter is married in this family, your sister is married in this family, it gets the whole community together. And then it will lead to that net that will get everybody together. Coming to hukm al-nikah, the one that I was talking about earlier, what is the hukm or the ruling? Is it recommended? Is it wajib? Haram? Permissible? Neutral? Recommended? Not recommended? Well, it depends on the situation. It depends on the person. Islam is very dynamic religion. It will become sometimes mustahab, recommended. For who? إذا كان الشخص محتاجا إلى الزواج. If somebody is in need for it. What do you mean in need for marriage? Well, he is تتوق نفسه إليه. The desire is there. He wants it. He wanted to be with somebody. And that's one thing. And he is capable. He has money to provide, because for the man, in Islam, he would provide, financially provide for the family. So he wants it physically, emotionally, and he is capable of providing in terms of mahr, the dowry, and then the expenditure, taking financial care of the family, and so on. And he does not, yes, he wants it, yes, he is capable of it, but it's not like too bad. It's not, for him, it's okay. If he doesn't marry, he would not go and have a legal relationship. If that is the case, then it's only recommended. It's only recommended for that person. Because, why recommended? Because he wants it and he is capable of doing it. You cannot say it's obligatory. Like everybody who wants it and capable of doing it, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be sinful. No, recommended for you to do that. It might be sometimes recommended not to do it. Recommended to do it in this case. It might be recommended not to do it. You don't want to do it. Why? In some cases, if somebody is in need for marriage, you might be in need for marriage. Yeah, I want to get married. I need to get married. But you're not capable. You cannot provide. You cannot pay mahr. You cannot take care of this of a wife. Then in this case, you will waste her. You will get somebody that you are not capable of providing, or you will start a family that in Islam you're supposed to lead and you are not capable of leading. Then it's recommended not to do. Well, if you do it, somebody might say, rizq Allah will give. Fine, yes. If you do it, it's not haram, but it's not recommended in this case, because you will add burden on your shoulder that you don't have, you're not capable of handling it for the time being, right? It might be makruh sometimes. It might be not recommended. إذا كان الشخص غير محتاج إلى الزواج لمرض أو لفطرة. If somebody is in no need for it, maybe somebody is too old, he doesn't need to get married, or somebody is not interested. All of his whatever talent, direction is in something, an inventor. He doesn't really think about it. The shahwa or the desire is not that. He doesn't want. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't need to get married. Or maybe he is sick. Somebody is sick, physically ill, cannot get married because of anything that physically prevents him from that. Then it's makruh. It might be al-afdalu tarkuhu, or better not to do it in some cases. If somebody is not capable of providing, like I said, and he might be busy with ibadah or talabul ilm sometimes, or focus on this right now, because you cannot provide for marriage, that applies to students, by the way. I was talking from a perspective of what should be in general, what shouldn't be. But if somebody, yes, you want it, but you are not capable of providing for it right now, and you might be busy with talabul ilm or anything like that, that better not to do it for the time being. So it depends on the situation. If somebody is in a situation to get married and he is capable, then it's recommended. If somebody is not, then it's not recommended. We have talked about al-usra fil Islam, or family, starting a family in Islam, and how important this is. We cannot press enough on that. We cannot confirm it enough. It's so many ayat and so many verses in the Quran and so many rulings protecting the fact or the idea of family. SubhanAllah, this is something for those who live in the West, with all love and respect. We might be very modern in terms of technology and running things, but when it comes to rules of family, we see the family is suffering in most of the Western countries. Unlike the East might not be as technologically modernized. They are backward in terms of doing most or many of the stuff. But subhanAllah, what's holding specifically the Muslim countries nowadays is that. Some of that. It's not perfect as it used to be. But I don't want to give examples. We don't have many rules. The rule of law in most of the Islamic country is not there. Everybody, if you have money, you do whatever you want. Here too, sometimes, right? I heard that Mr. Trump finally is going to release some of his taxes, right? Just today, I was like, oh, you're supposed to do that 6 years ago. What? 4 years ago. Anyways. So there's not much rule of law. There's not much rule of law there. But then you still see the communities holding. Why? It's not because of the law. It's because of the family still functioning, because parents are still teaching their kids something. Continuation. That's in there. So it's so important to keep that point. In Islam, unlike the notion here in the West, I cannot afford a child. In Islam, no. تزوجوا الولود الودود فإني مكاثر بكم الأمم. It's in the mind and heart of every Muslim. It's recommended to have more children. Obviously, children that you can handle, but generally speaking, recommended to have more children. You would love, most Muslims, at least those who want to implement Islam, they would like to get more and more children. You will see, first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering, or at least urging people to get married because of the importance of that. You will see many rules of the rights and responsibilities of both men and women. That's your right, that's your responsibility. That's how Islam pays attention to al-usra. You will see Islam made obligatory on the man to give dowry, for the woman. وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلَةً, Surah An-Nisa, chapter Women, number 4. النفقة, he should provide, financially provide. وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن ولهن عليكم رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف, as in the hadith in Muslim. Number 3 on the man is المعاشرة بالمعروف, to keep good company, to be nice and kind with the woman. وعاشروهن بالمعروف, that's what Allah said in the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, verse number 19. Also, Islam made obligatory on the woman الطاعة في غير معصية. Number 1 obligation on the wife is to obey her husband, as long as he doesn't order her or tell her to do something that is haram. الرجال قوامون على النساء. Men are in charge of the family, or leaders of the family. Some may take it as dictatorship. It's not dictatorship. It's a leader. It's a captain. There should be a captain for that system. It's a system in Islam. It's no less than a country or a company or an organization. No less. It's actually the most important unity or union in there. You should have a leader. The leader is the husband, and he should lead in that which is the best. And then, when you have a rule of law, Mr. Trump, I disagree with him all day. End of the day, he is my president. Rule of law, he is the president. He's my leader. He's the leader of this country. Whether you agree or don't agree, that is it. So, part of the well-being of any institution is you have that role of everybody who is doing what, and then you respect it. It's not by whims. It doesn't go by whims. I disagree with him. They are Republicans. Like sometimes we play it in a childish way, in my opinion. let's have the government shut down. What do you mean government shut down? Oh, because they don't want those to. No, you need to work together when it comes to the benefit of people, especially in crises like that. You have to put all the differences aside and work together. That's what should happen. So for any system, there is a leader. The leader is the husband. One obligation on the wife, number one, is to obey as long as he doesn't tell her anything معصية or disobedience of Allah. ألا تدخل بيته أحدا بغير إذنه. She should not allow anybody in his house without his permission, somebody that he doesn't like. She should protect herself, protect her honor, and his honor in return, protect his money. These are generally the rights and responsibilities. Why Islam is talking about all of the ayat, verses. When we pray in our holy text, miraculous text, we read them and we take hasanat by reading them and we memorize them. Why Allah put it there? Is that holy, that very holy for us? Because He pays attention to the family, al-usra fil Islam. Also made obligatory on the kids, on the children. You obey your parents. You have to. Allah, and then وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا. That's why. Why? Because Allah is setting parents as gods with Him? No. It's because you have to have a system. Family should be successful. It's not going to be successful if you just go by whatever your kids say. They don't have the experience yet. 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 sometimes, 20 sometimes. Respect them, consult with them, but they don't have at least as experience as you may have. Consult, whatever is good, take it. Don't be arrogant. But whatever is not good, you are the leader. You're supposed to, and then they have to listen. They have to obey. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that? It is to keep and pay attention to al-usra. And the other way around. What if the parents are too old and they are poor now? They don't have enough income. Obligatory on the children to pay for them. Nafaqa al-walidain. That's there in Islam. Here in America, no. Or in most of the laws that I know of, no, you're not. I'm not talking ethically, I'm talking legally. No, in Islam, if you live in a legal system, you have to. You have money, your parents do not have money. The judge, the court will take from your money you gave your parents. That's the law. Because it goes the other way around too. When you're young, the parents have to take care of you financially. And it doesn't stop at certain age. Yes, until you are able to provide for yourself, but if you're not capable, then the parents have to continue to. So that is how important. We can talk about so many aspects, how important is the marriage, the al-usra, or having a family and starting a family. That was a quick introduction. Before we get to the actual marriage also, Sheikh, you're talking about marriage. Like, can any man get married to any woman? Or we have rulings? Before we get to marriage, we'll talk about النساء اللاتي يحرم نكاحهن. Women that you're not supposed to get married to. You cannot get married. The list of the women that you cannot get married to, and also the list of the men that the woman cannot get married to. Why? We have some categories of women I cannot get married to. Either due out of respect or out of, like your mother, you cannot get married to your mother. Or because it's against the nature that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us on, like getting married to your sister. No, you're not going to be interested in your sister. Al-tiba' al-salima. When we have pollution also, when we are polluted nowadays, we see a brother is interested in his sister or vice versa. No, but generally speaking, that does not happen. We talking about the women that you cannot get married to, the list of categories of women you cannot get married to, or first of all, that hurma, or that illegality of women you cannot get married to is because it is due to, or can be of two categories. One category, it's gonna be illegal forever to get married to this woman. You can, at no point now or in the future, you can get married to that woman. Hurma mu'abbada. It's forever. The other category, it's actually temporary. You cannot get married to this woman in certain conditions, but in other conditions you may. Those are the two categories of hurma, or impermissibility of getting married to, either forever or it's temporary. The reasons for al-hurma al-mu'abbada, women that you can never get married to, impermissible, illegal to get married to, reasons, it's either one because of one of three reasons. Three causes. One, al-qaraba. You are connected to them through blood relationship. Number two, al-musahara. You're connected to them through the marriage. There's some kind of marriage relations that will make, not directly to them, but we will talk about al-musahara in a little bit. There is a marriage relation, like you're married to, like your wife, you're connected to her through what? Blood or marriage? Through marriage. Her mother. You're connected to her mother through what? Blood? No. Through the marriage of her daughter. You cannot get married to them. So one of the reasons is, number one, blood relationship, your mother. Number two, al-musahara, this because of marriage. You're married to her mother, for example. Number three, al-rada'a. Al-rada'a or foster, a woman breastfeed you, you become her child, and we mention all. These are the three reasons or causes of impermissibility or illegality of getting married to others forever. We will talk about each one of them. Muharramat bil qaraba. Who are those that I cannot get married to because of blood relationship? Because we are connected through blood. Number one, حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم. Mother. And is it, when Allah said أمهاتكم, and then He said وبناتكم, your daughters, وبنات الأخ وأخواتكم, He talked about the mother, the daughter, the sister. He did not talk about the grandmother. Where is that? Can I get married to my grandmother? No, I cannot. But when in Arabic, when you say your mother, your direct mother is a mother. Your grandmother is also a mother for you. Any of her usul is like a mother for you. There is a direct mother for you. Like we say Mother Eve. She's the mother of all, but she's not directly. Any grandmother, wa in alat يعني. Any female from your usul that you can trace yourself back to, either from the father's side or the mother's side. Like your grandmother from mother's side, grandmother from father's side. So mother and father's mother, grandma from father's side, any usul like your roots, you're connected to, you can trace your lineage to this woman, then it's haram to get married. Number two, al-bintu, your daughter. And it's not only there. Your granddaughter is a daughter for you. Your great-granddaughter is a daughter. Anyone, al-furu'a, anta asluha. You are her lineage get back to you. Whether it's your daughter, أو بنت الابن أو بنت البنت, your granddaughter from your son or from your daughter, and on. And down, onwards. You cannot get married to those at any condition at any time. Al-ukhtu, shaqiqatan kanat, aw li'abin aw li'um. Your sister, whether she is a full sister or half sister from your father, half sister from your mother, those are furu'ul abawayni. In fiqh we call them the branches of your father. So, mother, this is your lineage. Any female in your lineage, up, like mother, great-grandmother, grandmother, you cannot get married to. Any female coming from you down, you are the lineage, their lineage come to you, like Albin? No. Now talking about the branches. The first branch is going to be from your father, that's your sisters. Sisters, whether this is only from both your father and mother, or half sister from only the mother or the father, you cannot get married to at any time. بنت الأخ الشقيق وبنت الأخ, the وبنات الأخ وبنات الأخت, the nieces, your niece, your sister's daughter or your brother's daughter, those you cannot get married to at any time. العمة وهي أخت الأب ومثلها عمة الأب وعمة الأم فروع الجدين. So the sisters, your sisters with the branches of your father. And then the branches coming from your grandfather, that's going to be your aunt. Your aunt from your father, that is, you cannot get it. The aunt of your father as well, you cannot get married to, and so on. Al-khala, this is the aunt from your mother's side, your mother's sister, and your mother's aunt as well. If you keep going up, down the chain, all of these you cannot get married to. Al-ayah, if you look at the verse in Surah An-Nisa, chapter titled The Women, ayah number 23, حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وعماتكم وخالاتكم وبنات الأخ وبنات الأخت وأمهاتكم التي أرضعنكم إلى آخر الآية. So if somebody comes and he made a marriage contract on that, the marriage contract is batil. Batil, it's void. It's as if it's not there, null, doesn't exist. Haram at any point, you cannot do that. These are the 7 categories of women that you cannot get married to because they are connected to you through blood. Number 2 of the causes of the reasons that female you cannot get married to because of marriage, marital relationship, arba, 4 of them. Number 1, zawjatul ab. Zawjatul ab. That's the stepmother. Stepmother. Your father got married to a lady other than your mother. This woman you cannot get married to. وَمِثْلُهَا زَوْجَةُ الْجَدِّ. The wife of your grandfather. Is that called a stepmother too? In English? So the wife of your father, obviously not your mother, and the wife of your grandfather, and so on. The wife of your grandfather also from mother side, those you cannot get married to. زَوْجَاتُ الْأُصُولِ. The wives of your usul. The wife of your father, the wife of your grandfather from either side, you cannot get married to. وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا مَا نَكَحَ آبَاؤُكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. Do not get married to those that your آباء, الأب هو وإن على, يعني your father or forefathers of women, you cannot get married to. That's what Allah said in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 22. 2 of the women you cannot get married to because of marital relationship, زوجة الابن. We mentioned زوجة الأب, the wife of your father, stepmother. Now, daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law, زوجة الابن. Your son, you have a son, he is married to somebody, or زوجة ابن الابن. Daughter-in-law, either the wife of your son or the wife of your grandson. وابن البنت. Grandson from your son or grandson from your daughter. He is married to somebody, those you cannot get married to at any point. Once your son get married to a lady, you can never get married to her again. Never again. Even if they divorce. Obviously they have to divorce before you can get married, but you can never get married to at any point. Like Zawjatul Ab as well. If your father got married to, grandfather got married to a lady, you can never get married to at any point in the future. Why? Allah said, وحلائل أبنائكم. الحليلة يعني هي التي هي حلال له زوجته يعني. وحلائل أبنائكم الذين من أصلابكم. Amongst in the list of those you cannot get married to, Allah said in Surah An-Nisa, the same ayah, chapter titled The Women, verse number 23, Allah said, and those halila or halal, those wives of your abnaikum, of your children. That involves your son, grandson, and so on. الَّذِينَ مِنْ أَصْلَابِكُمْ. Not any children. If you adopt a child, give him your name, then he got married to somebody, divorce her, you can get married to that one. That is called, it might be called a son communally, but he is not a blood son, doesn't take the rules. And then the Prophet ﷺ got married to a Sayyidah Zainab bint Jahsh, even though she was married to Zayd ibn Haritha, who was at certain point called Zayd ibn Muhammad, adopted son of Muhammad radiallahu anhu, an Zayd wa sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad. That is not, it doesn't go into this list. The wife of your adopted son doesn't go in this list. Obviously, if this marriage ended later on. طيب. Allah said, وَمَا جَعَلَ أَدْعِيَاءَكُمْ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ. Allah did not make ad'iya'akum, the one that you call them your children. Allah did not make them your children. They didn't take the rules of your children. Obviously, it's highly recommended to adopt in the sense of providing for orphans, but in the sense of giving them full rights and making them inherit you, and all of these rules apply, they don't apply. So, number 1, from those in the list of those you cannot get married to, females you cannot get married to because of a marital relationship, number 1 is who? Zawjatul Ab. No, because of marital relation, musahara. Zawjatul Abbi. Thumma Zawjatul Ibni, the stepmother. And then the daughter-in-law. Then we mentioned the details. Number 3, Ummu Zawja. Ummu Zawja, the mother of your wife, your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law you cannot get married to. And those 3, we have number 4 too, Bintu Zawja. Bintu zawja is like you get married to somebody and she has a daughter from someone else before. Like your stepdaughter, you cannot get married to. But for the first three categories, you can never get married to. For the final category, which is the stepdaughter, al-rabiba, there is a little bit of detail, as Allah said in the Quran. If you get contract on her mother, but never had the actual physical nikah, and then the divorce happened, you can get married to her. اللاتي وحلائل وأبناء وربائبكم اللاتي في حجوركم من نسائكم اللاتي دخلتم بهن فإن لم تكونوا دخلتم بهن فلا جناح عليكم. Allah said, if you consummate the marriage with her mother, then it becomes haram. If it's not, the consummation, not the contract, the consummation of marriage did not happen, الدخول يعني, then it's okay. But for the three previous categories, الزوجة, your stepmother, زوجة الأب, your what do you call زوجة الأب again? Stepmother is الزوجة وزوجة الأب كمان, ولا mother-in-law, الزوجة, and stepmother and daughters-in-law. Those you can never get married to. But bintu zawja, which is the daughter, the stepdaughter, you can not get married to only if you consummated the marriage with her mother. That's second category of like we mentioned, the first category of people, or the first cause of impermissibility of the list of women you cannot get married to because of blood relationship. We talked about them, mother, grandmother, and what have you. Those you cannot get married to due to marital relationship with somebody, some of the relatives. We talked about them, four groups or four items, females. And then number three, those you cannot get married to due to ar-rada', which is having a foster brother or sister, or breastfeeding, due to breastfeeding. Those also mentioned in the Quran in general. Two of them mentioned in the Quran, and the Sunnah mentioned the rest of them. 7 of them, almost like the 7 that are related to you from blood relationship. Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال يحرم من الرضاع ما يحرم من الولادة أو من النسب. Whatever that's illegal due to the blood relationship also will be illegal due to al-rada' or the breastfeeding relationship. Number 1 of those, al-ummu min al-rada'. Your mother, your foster mother. Who is your foster mother? Foster mother is the one that you breastfed from her, that breastfed you. The mother that breastfed you, and her mother, and her grandmother, because all of these will be mothers for you as well. You cannot get married to. Al-ukhtu min al-rada'. Your sister, your foster sister. Who is your foster sister?
She breastfed from the same woman.
She breastfed from the same woman. Whether she is her daughter or anybody who breastfed from her. كل من اجتمعوا على ثدي واحد. Anybody, any daughter, any girl, any female, any girl, infant who breastfed from this lady becomes automatically your foster sister. Becomes your foster sister. Does this foster sister, becomes a sister of your brother or of your other sisters? No, because they did not breastfeed. They are your sisters or your brothers from your mother or something, but because they did not, only you, that applies only to you because you are the only one who breastfed from this lady. If someone else from your brothers breastfed with the same lady, then that applies to them as well. But all of these rules come to you only, does not go to anyone else. So number 1, your foster mother, the one who breastfed you. Foster sister, the one who breastfed from this lady. التي رضعت من أمك أو رضعت من أمها أو رضعت أنت وهي من امرأة واحدة. It doesn't have to be her mother. She doesn't have to be her mother. Maybe both of you breastfed from one lady. One lady breastfed you, and then another random girl. That random girl, that lady becomes your mother, foster mother. That girl or any girl in the future or in the past who breastfed from her becomes your foster sister, and you cannot get married to. طيب. الله تبارك وتعالى يقول وأمهاتكم اللاتي أرضعنكم وأخواتكم من الرضاعة. In this regard, Allah says in Surah An-Nisa, the same ayah, Ayah number 23, your foster mothers and أخواتكم من الرضاعة and your foster sisters. This is amongst the list that you حرمت عليكم. Illegal for you, you cannot get married to. طيب. Number 3, بنت الأخت من الرضاع. بنت الأخت بنت الأخ من الرضاع وبنت الأخت من الرضاع. Your nephew, your niece from your brother or from your sister, like the daughter of your brother or the daughter from your sister, that brother or that sister from breastfeeding, from foster brother or foster sister, their children, you cannot get married to. العمة من الرضاع وهي التي رضعت مع أبيك. Your aunt, your foster aunt. Who's your foster aunt? My foster aunt. Anybody who got breastfed with my father from the same lady or any lady. Any lady but the same lady. That becomes the sister, the foster sister of my father. In other words, my aunt. Foster aunt in this case. Al-Khalatu min al-Rada', which is the foster sister of my mother. Any foster sister of my mother will be my aunt, cannot get married to. Al-Bintu min al-Rada', my daughter, my foster daughter. Who is my foster daughter? Give it a guess. Who will be my foster daughter? My daughter is my daughter with my wife. Foster daughter is, I have a wife. My wife is obviously got pregnant and breastfeeding now. Anyone that my wife breastfeed becomes my daughter directly, becomes my daughter. My foster daughter, my foster son, all of that are related to me. Labanul al-fahl, that milk is, we look at it as coming from this lady, but actually it belongs to the man. It was instigated because of the process, the biological process. So this belongs not only to the woman, actually it belongs to the man as well. Actually the woman, we need to fix some of our understanding of Islamic thing. If a man, I'm just drifting a little bit, a man is married to a woman, got a child, separated, is the mother required to breastfeed that child, her own child? No, Islamically by law. I'm not talking ethically and as a mother. Is she required to legally? Who, like the financial responsibility of this child in Islam is on who? On the man. فَإِنْ أَرْضَعْنَ لَكُمْ فَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ. Like the husband, the ex-husband, with the father of this person should pay her because she's breastfeeding him. She's breastfeeding for him. That's the rules in Islam. So that's what Allah says in the Quran. If the separation happened and then this wife, ex-wife, is breastfeeding your own child, you have to provide for that. Child support, kind of. She eats, she supports herself, and she provides for him. Then the man should financially provide for that. So, coming here to this point, al-bintu min al-rada', my daughter, my foster daughter, is anyone that my wife breastfeed. That becomes my son or my daughter. فتكون أنت أباها من الرضاعة. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن الرضاعة تحرم ما يحرم من الولادة. رواه البخاري ومسلم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في بنت حمزة. We know that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and Hamza were both, they were cousins, but they were also what? أخوة من الرضاعة. They both breastfed from the same woman, so they were foster brothers. Hamza passed away. His daughter, the Prophet ﷺ, he was told, why didn't you get married? Or he was talking about his daughter. He said, قال إنها لا تحل لي يحرم من الرضاعة ما يحرم من النسب هي بنت أخي من الرضاعة. I cannot, she's not halal, she's not legal for me to get married to because كان عم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حمزة. He was the uncle of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. If he was not his foster brother, can you get married to your cousin in Islam? Yes. Bintul Am. She was not in this list. But because he was his foster brother, as well as being his uncle, he was his foster brother. Now this is Bintul Akh min al-Rada'. This is the niece, foster niece. You cannot get married to. That's what he said. هي بنت أخي من الرضاعة. وكذلك يحرم بالمصاهرة من الرضاع, from everything that foster relationship would lead to is going to come, like بنت الزوجة من الرضاع, زوجة الأب من الرضاع, زوجة الابن من الرضاع, all of these that we talked about. Moving on to the second category, because Isha is coming very quickly, all of these were those that حرمة مؤبدة, it's illegal to get married to at any point in life. You cannot get married to. Moving on to the second category of those that you cannot get married to temporarily. At certain conditions you can get married to. Who are these? Or what is these categories? وَأَن تَجْمَعُوا بَيْنَ الْأُخْتَيْنِ, is to combine, to get married to two sisters at the same time. You cannot do that. If you do them in one contract, the contract is void. If you were married to one and then you go and get married to her sister, then the second contract is batil, void. You cannot, because Allah said you cannot do that. أو الجمع بين المرأة وعمتها والمرأة وخالتها وزادوا عليها المرأة وبنت أختها أو بنت أخيها أو بنت ابنها أو بنت بنتها, is to combine you have a wife and then you get married to her aunt from father's side or mother's side, or her niece, or her daughter, her granddaughter or something. You cannot do it in all of these cases. Temporary, that's temporary. If, let's say, you're married to a girl and then she died, can I get married to her sister? Yeah. That's what happened to Uthman ibn Affan. Uthman was married to Ruqayya, the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, radiallahu anha. She passed away. The Prophet ﷺ give him Kulthum. Then she passed away. قال إيه لو كان لنا ثالثة لزوجناه. She passed away. She said, Wallahi, if I have a third daughter, Uthman, I would have given her to you in marriage. Subhanallah. Imagine somebody who got married to two daughters of a prophet. Dhun Nurayn, that's why he is called the man of two lights. He got two lights. This girl is from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, light كده. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وارضى عنا وصلي على أهله أجمعين يا رب العالمين. الجمع بين المرأة. So that's temporary as long as you have this. Why is this not right? Because when you get married to, if that happens, you cut the relationship, the rahim relationship, because you will have problems between those who are supposed to be very close. Also, it's not permissible to get married to above 4 women. We don't want to talk much about this, but maximum for Islam is 4. It's not permissible to get married to al-wathaniyya, anybody who, other than the people of the book, Muslims, for males. You can get married to a Muslim woman, Christian or Jew, or people of the book in general. You cannot get married to any idol worshippers, as Allah said in the Quran. For the Muslim woman, she cannot get married to anyone other than the Muslims, also according to the Quran. Also, المرأة المتزوجة, a woman who is married. والمحصنات من النساء. Allah said حرمت. He mentioned the list and he said those who are already married, you cannot get married to, as long as they are already married. But that's temporary. If her husband died or she got divorced and then she finished the waiting period after that, you can get married to. المرأة المعتدة, a woman during her waiting period. The husband announced the divorce or died. There is always a waiting period for the woman. She cannot get married in that waiting period in Islam. She has to wait. And that waiting period has its own conditions. المرأة المطلقة ثلاثا. If somebody divorces his wife for the 3rd time, then you cannot get married to this lady, and it's temporary because there are some conditions. Unless she get married to someone else and he divorces her, then you can get married. But now you cannot get married to her in Islam. طيب, do you have any questions that we can handle quickly before we conclude, inshallah? Next time, I will take a couple of questions, but next time, inshallah, we will talk about al-khitbah, rules of khitbah. Khitbah is wrong to translate it as an engagement, but it's the pre-marriage relationship. What can we do before marriage? How to find a girl and how to propose, and what are the required things in there, what's recommended, what's not recommended, what I can do, what I cannot do before marriage. Just the proposal period of khitbah. And then after that we will talk about arkanun nikah, the pillars of nikah. What are the prerequisites of nikah? What are the pillars of nikah, or the parties of nikah and the condition of each one and how to do the nikah. We will talk about this inshallah next time. Questions? Sometimes it doesn't update right away. Do you see it or?
Somebody by the name of Luqman had said, can you please elaborate a bit on الرجال قوامون على النساء?
Oh, that's you, right? You're attending physically and virtually. الرجال قوامون على النساء. القوامة, men are قوامون over women. What is that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained it. The ayah, he said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. Allah said, women have rights similar to the duties on them in ma'ruf, in kindness, in the kind way, and men have 1 degree over them. What is this 1 degree over them? It is the degree of qiwama. Or what is qiwama? It is that they are being appointed. They are being appointed to be in charge of the house. Why? It's mainly because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, generally speaking, there are psychological aspects of it, there are also financial aspects of it. Well, we're talking about the general rules. And I have seen many cases, women are leading the house. And they are doing that in the nicest way. I'm very impressed in the leadership of this lady to her house. But let's agree that's not going to be always the case. Women usually need some protection. It's a partnership where the husband would provide something like protection, you know. If somebody is breaking into the house in the middle of the night, usually I know if my wife is a fencer or something, she will be the one, or a boxer, she's the one to defend me or something. But generally speaking, she will be like, right? I've seen very strong women crying in the kitchen. Why? What happened? My wife is very strong, but she cries sometimes in the kitchen. And you go to the kitchen as if it's something exploded, and you see what? A bug, little bug there. That's the nature. The man would go. So it is the man would provide protection. It's supposed to. The man is going to like have the wing over the house and provide this. And also the financial aspect is very important. He's supposed to provide that for the house because of that and because of many other things. Obviously, let's not get it wrong and follow what's in the media out there. Oh, look at this. No, it's actually one of the points of advantages of Islam. Here we don't have a rule. If you just start a partnership without having rules, you're setting it up for failure. But in Islam, no, it's partnership, kindness, rights, responsibilities. There is a leader appointed in there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already told him, you're not supposed to abuse this right. It's a right of leadership of the house, which is al-qiwama. Like one of them is Allah give wilayah. It's a golden cage. Allah give the key for the husband. The woman would choose her cage. She has the right in the beginning. 10 people get to her. No, you out. She chooses. But once she get in, there is wilayah. There is some kind of power in there, because once you can choose any company you go work in, right? Apply here, apply here, apply here, apply here, apply here. Good. Once you get into the company, well, there is a contract. There is a boss in there. There is a CEO. Before you can go get a time off, you have to let him know. That is what it is. It's for the sake of regulation in there. So men have this level in there. Allah give them also the al-isma, or they are the one to divorce or hold it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, if it's given for the women, generally speaking, their decisions are usually being made based on emotion. If he probably breaks his heart by a word, she will divorce him, or she will, based on emotion. Men, I am aware that many men are reckless. Many men are. But generally speaking, men probably would not base or make their decisions based on emotion in the first place, but rather it will take time. I've seen some cases. One case, for example, the woman fought with the husband, and they were fighting, and she, typical, talaqni, give me my divorce right now, give me my divorce right now, give me my divorce. And he was leaving. He was trying to leave. He said, okay, bint al-halal, take it easy. I'm going to leave. He closed the door, she opened the door. And you're not going to get outside of the house before you divorce me. I'm not going to let you go before you give me the divorce. Give me the divorce right now, right? Can you relate to that? And then he said, okay, she got crazy. You're divorced. She said, oh, you give it to me that easy. She is the one who's blaming him later on. I was crazy, but you're not supposed to listen to me and stuff. If it is in the hand of the woman, many women or some women, they would divorce probably 10 times every day or something. That there is nothing wrong with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them emotional, made them soft, made them in such a way to handle other jobs that men can never handle, otherwise can never handle. Wallahu a'lam. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خيرا.